Bob from HetteshWorld. Today we're going to install a battery tender on the 2019 CanAm Spyder. This is going to help maintain the battery when we're not running it down the road, to make sure that the battery's properly charged at all times.
We're Bob and Barb. We've lived by the rules all of our lives, but in 2020 we threw that rule book out the window. We sold our home and moved full-time into an RV with our cat Amelia, and from now on we will be living life our way. Don't you want to come travel in our world?
What this comes with, it has alligator clips, and it has a battery loop, and it's fused. Both are fused, and then it has the battery tender that it will maintain. It's a 750 milliamp battery charger and maintainer, so it will maintain the voltage. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to use the alligator clips because I don't want to clip those onto the battery. I'm going to actually put something permanently on the battery. So what we have to do, we have to access the battery from the trunk.
Bob, why do we want to do this?
So we want to maintain the battery always, so when we hit the starter it starts. So what we're going to do is we're going to access the battery cover down here. So on this 2019, we have to access down through here. And they got it somewhat buried, but you got your USB port and your stereo port for hooking up a phone or something in this cabinet.
Just kind of pulling it out, right?
Pulling, yeah, they got some little... Like,
a little slot that goes into this bag here.
Slot goes. And then I'm going to pull this trunk up here through here, so we can access this all through here. I've never pulled this apart before, so it's got some little Velcro tabs here that you have to remove. I'm just going to kind of push this out of the way so we can access the battery cabinet, and I'm just using this little 4mm Allen screws. And there's our battery down here. I don't know how much room it's going to have to move around. So we can shift this battery out just a little bit.
So if we needed to replace the battery, this is the real actual battery, right?
Yes.
These are questions for me, not for you guys, so no nasty comments, please. I have to learn.
Okay, we got a red and a black. Of course, red's going to be our positive lead, and this is going to come out with a lead for the battery tender to hook onto, so we can keep this in the trunk at all times. And this does have a fuse on it. It's like a 7.5 amp fuse. What I'm going to do with this, I'm just going to bring it down through this slot. So we're going to pull these terminals off of here.
You're using a...
This is a 10mm wrench here. Alright, you just got to be careful when you're messing with these so you don't short anything out. But it's in a spot where there's really nothing to short out on. And then we're going to take this positive one off, which I already got it loose. Put our loop in here. Like I said, it comes with the alligator clips. You could use the alligator clips if you wanted to, if it was more like on a exposed battery. But since this battery's kind of buried back in here, it'd be a big of a hassle to hook that up every time to access this battery. So I want to make sure them terminals are pretty tight. It is crucial. If you don't have a good connection, your bike's not going to start. So that's all there is to connect that up. And then we have to get this battery locked back down in place.
So this is to help keep the battery charged if you need to.
Yeah, this just maintains the battery when you're not using the bike, because a maintained battery is going to last a lot longer than if it's and we're not planning on letting the bike sit a long time, but this just gives us a little extra security.
Would we plug it in while we were riding with it in the camper down the road?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
That's what I will
And there
do.
is a plug in the garage of our camper. You guys should have seen that in our RV outside tour video.
To get a little finagle with the bracket, to get that bracket in place that holds the battery in place.
It just slides in. There's no bolts or controls or anything.
Yeah. A bit of a fight to get that bracket back up in here. They got these two little tabs on top that fit up inside the frame that come down to hold the battery in place so it doesn't fall out of there.
There's two slots that go up inside the bike that has to hook into.
Yeah,
so it can do a secure hold. It's got the little strip that comes up from the bottom that snaps or hooks into it. That's pretty much what you have to do to put the battery tender in. And then Bob's pushing the little things that were through the slots back through the slots. So that much pretty much is the end of the install of the battery tender. So now we're just gonna basically put the bike back together.
All right, now I'm gonna put this battery cover back in place, and I'm just gonna let that wire pull to the side there. We got these little 4mm bolts there to hold that cover in place. Tighten these, snug these up. I believe the little toolkit you get with the bike does have this little bit here, so you can, if you ever have to jump start the bike. And then you're gonna put these wires through this bonnet here. And then on this side, we have our auxiliary and our speaker connector. So now we're just gonna reassemble the trunk area. I believe if it's an RT, without the Limited, it doesn't have this trunk lining on it. They have this trunk lining on the Limited models.
Just Velcros back into place.
Well, this Velcros, and then we got the
Molding.
The molding here. Probably going to start out here at the beginning. Trying to see if that's going to be.
Oop, our little angels on the inside. We'll have to turn her around. There we go. The Velcro, we weren't sure that it was Velcro, so we actually dislodged that one piece of Velcro, but we're just going to glue it back on, or re-Velcro it with our Velcro stuff. So it'll be fine.
One thing about a CanAm, it's like a puzzle. If you ever taken one apart before, we're gonna be adding some LED lighting to the bike. Mainly turn signals, not so much for aesthetics, more for safety.
Yep.
That's what we're all about, the safety.
Safety.
So now we'll have a port sticking out here for the battery tender, which will be right here. And the battery tender, it does have a 12-foot cord on it, and it plugs into a wall outlet. This is just a male, female. It's got a little weather cap on it. Same thing within the bike. So we will just hook these up like that. This will plug into a wall outlet, and this will maintain our battery.
Do we leave that hooked to it all the time and just keep it stored in here, or do we only plug it in when we need it?
We only plug it in when we need it.
Okay.
This will not stay in here. This will be unplugged, and then this will stay. Well, if someone's got a garage or we have a camper, so this is going to stay in our camper.
Yep.
And this will maintain the battery when we're not using the bike. So we're always able to start and take rides. That concludes our installation of our battery tender, 750 milliamp battery charger and maintainer.
So we hope you liked this video. We're going to try to keep doing a lot of these little ones just to get them up there quick and fast. Like, subscribe, share, get notified, and remember, we're HetteshWorld, so come travel
In our world.